Hey, what's going on, guys? The Horror Man back discussing an alternate cut of Scream 3. Alternate Cuts is the series in which Jason from Horrific Nightmares JM and I discuss alternate cuts of movies. I'd say the title is self-explanatory. Some of the alternate cuts are readily available, and others are nearly impossible to find, never having an official release. This alternate cut of Scream 3 is one that has never been released officially. It's the original assembly cut. This version of the film was completed in 1999. The theatrical cut of Scream 3 was released the following year, in the year 2000. This is essentially a workprint version, but nearly finished. With the exception of credits and title cards, everything is here. The official theatrical cut of Scream 3 runs approximately an hour and 56 minutes. This assembly cut has an approximate runtime of just over 2 hours and 22 minutes. And that's without credits, so it's about half an hour longer. An additional 30 minutes of footage is a lot of additional footage. It isn't just extra scenes either, although there are many. I'll get to those. Many sequences included in the theatrical version are extended in this assembly cut. Dialogue is different, sometimes entirely in certain scenes. Some scenes are even arranged in a different order in the assembly cut. While watching this, I decided to play both versions at the same time and sync them the best I could. Obviously, with the half an hour time difference, it wasn't an easy task. I constantly had to pause the theatrical cuts so that the assembly cuts could catch up. And then with so many scenes out of order, it made it even more difficult. It was a fun experience, though, and helped me to catch every minute change. It's crazy how the movie is ultimately the same, but yet so different. The changes are apparent immediately, too. The opening sequence with Cotton Wary is very different. From the conversation he has with Ghostface over the phone, to just the sound of the female voice on the other line. And then when Cotton arrives at home, it's completely different. We, as viewers, never get to see Christine alive. She's already dead when he gets there. And his death scene is different too. Cotton does last a bit longer in the assembly cuts, however. And while I like that, I do prefer the theatrical opening. I do sort of wish one of these versions would have used the skylight opening though. That was cool. Now, I won't go into detail about every extended scene, because truthfully, it's most of them. I will mention some standouts though, and of course some other extra scenes included in this assembly cut. The sequence with Martha, Randy's sister, is extended in this version, and the tape Randy made is longer as well. Supposedly, Jamie Kennedy filmed over an hour of footage for that tape, so they had a lot to work with. It's really cool seeing the extended version of that in this cut. Extra Cotton, extra Randy. We also get more of Wallace, Mark Kincaid's partner. In the theatrical version, he just sort of disappears after eating a donut. In the assembly cuts, he goes out with a scream. Probably my favorite additional scene in this version is the making of the voice changer. There is literally a sequence of Roman in his lair, downloading all of the voices and adding them to the voice changer. In my opinion, it would have been best to not delete this scene. Many people have always complained about the voice changer aspect of this one, but that scene would explain it. Plus, it's just a really cool sequence. Act 3 of Scream 3, The Assembly Cuts, is much different as well. In particular, that final climactic battle between Sidney and Roman. The reveal is different, and there is more exposition in his explanation. But even better, the original Assembly Cut adds even more evidence that there are in fact 2 killers in Scream 3. Yes, even in the theatrical version, this is the case, although it's more subtle. In the officially released cut, they wanted to leave the option for the viewers. People can simply believe it's only Roman, although it doesn't really make sense. But then those who see the clues that there are 2 killers can believe that as well. Well, with certain things that happen in the Assembly Cut, there is no denying the second killer theory. Again, Jason and I have covered this topic before though, in depth, so I'll leave it at that. Let's see, what else? I'm jumping around here, but who cares, right? We get more Neil Prescott in the Assembly Cut, and even more of Sidney's dog. A lot of the extended scenes are between Dewey and Gale. There is, I guess, an extra dynamic of their relationship in the Assembly Cut. Sometimes scenes were shot from a different angle, and there are even different music cues at times. In the end, the theatrical version does, of course, flow better. With that being said, because I love Scream 3 so much, I absolutely loved seeing all of the extra footage. For that, part of me wishes it was released as is in this Assembly Cut. Like with most other movies with alternate cuts, I suppose the best case scenario would be a hybrid version. I'd use the theatrical opening, but with some of the dialogue from the Assembly Cut opening. I'd use the climax of the theatrical version, with some of the dialogue from the Assembly Cut. I'd definitely use some of the extended sequences from this cut, but then I'd use the trimmed down versions of other scenes from the theatrical cut. I'd probably keep the aspects that confirm there is a second killer, but most of all, I'd absolutely include the voice changer scene. That, for me, is the most significant addition in this version of Scream 3. But the best thing about both versions existing is the fact that we have alternate cuts. How does this version of Scream 3 sound to you? Comment below and let me know. And please be sure to check out Jason's video to hear his thoughts on the original Assembly Cut. Which alternate cut will we discuss next? Check back soon to find out. Until then, remember, physical media matters. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that thumbs up and be kind. Subscribe.